Hey everybody, this is Perch. If there's one thing that I hear people say over and over in the comments and other places on the internet, it's that they want more stories related to elections and voting and politics and everything else. And while this claim may be disputed on some platforms, we are getting exactly that from Marvel. We're going to have an open vote with polls coming this week for who will be the next member of the X-Men. So if you've been not following along for various reasons, the X-Men title, Cyclops and Jean Grey announced that they are going to reform the X-Men, the actual team, the X-Men. Somewhat, maybe, kind of, sort of, not sure, I don't know, against the wishes of the Quiet Council. They're going to form the team, and they're going to do it differently this time. They're going to have a democratically elected X-Men team. They're not just going to pick whoever's available, based on kind of a general assortment of one big guy, one smaller guy, one person that's kind of hairy or furry looking, one popular one that can actually carry the title and sell it, a couple women that can be dressed in scantily clothes. They're going to do it differently this time. So we are getting a brand new X-Men team. It's going to be democratically voted on the island of Krakoa and then announced during the Hellfire Gala, the summer-ish event. Not quite an event. It's a storyline, but maybe it's a little bit of an event, but not really. You're going to want to buy it because this is going to lead to the actual formation of the X-Men team, because that's what we've been wanting. We've been wanting democratically elected superhero teams. How topical, how exciting. So as part of all this, you, the reader, the person listening to this right now, gets to take part in this in what I'm sure will be an absolutely fair and not weighted or biased or rigged or scammed in any way vote. There will be polls that are open on Marvel.com that allow you to vote for one of those members of the X-Men team. You will get to pick who gets to join the X-Men from a pre-selected group of members, where there will be one wacky option and then a couple normal options and everything else. So that's what you get to do. Now, this isn't a new thing to comics or professional wrestling. We saw Batman Death in the Family. We've seen the 1-900 numbers that the WWF used to use to pick Survivor Series teams and other things. So this isn't a completely new idea, and definitely, there was a lot of excitement and great memories from the death of Jason Todd, which absolutely stuck when fans callously voted to kill him off. So here's what we've got. So marvel.com/vote-X-Men is apparently your site. It will be up at some point in the later part of Tuesday, supposedly, but really just Wednesday. So tomorrow, you'll want to get on this. You want to head over to marvel.com and vote for who you want as the next member of the X-Men. So there you go. Like I said, we don't know who the members are that will be able to be picked. Maybe by the time this video is up, there will be that will be revealed, and we can talk about that. So that's super exciting. But basically, this is a chance for you, the comic reader, to actually have a say in what's going on with the X-Men. Are you excited? Is this something that will energize your interest? Is this what you want to see out of the X-Men? So lots of people are eligible for the team in storyline ways. Everybody on the island, heroes, villains, everyone else. The only people who are not eligible are members on the Quiet Council, which feels a little bit like a nana boo boo kind of moment to the Quiet Council, who revealed that if Jean stepped off of it to basically go save her son and also help rescue the entire reality from being wiped out by the forces of Arakko, she's not allowed back on the team. So, there you go. I don't know. So all jokes and other things aside, this is something new-ish, I guess. There have been instances where they've taken fan surveys and fan votes to kind of get members of a team before. We have not seen a election storyline play out quite this way in the comics. I'm not sure with all the different titles and all the various things going on that people want it, but in fairness, the demographic that seems super into the X-Men right now, if Twitter is any indication, there's a heavy correlation between people whose Twitter feeds are massively stuffed with retweets and comments about the real-life U.S. election that we just went through. So perhaps this is right up their alley. It's listening to their audience. It's giving people what they want. And a nice long storyline in the X books around an election is just what the sales doctor ordered. Maybe that will be great. It's hard for me not to see this as a bit of a stunt. Of course, I remember the Death in the Family bit with Robin. As I recall, DC did not think that the fans would actually vote to kill off Robin. They believed that, what kind of crazy lunatic fans would actually vote to kill off a major character? And were a bit surprised when it went to that direction. And took them quite a while to unwind it. But it feels a little bit like that. Now, undoubtedly, what's going to happen is Marvel will pick a handful of characters that will be safe options. They're not going to put, kind of super random people on that list. Although I kind of expect they won't be able to help themselves. They'll have Morrow or somebody like that show up as one of the options. And then Twitter being Twitter, everybody's going to go all in for the worst possible option to fit with the team. But I have to believe Hickman and the X-Men office at least understand on some level that could happen. In terms of an event goes, I don't know. The annual, they're calling it an annual X-Men election, by the way, which means we get to relive this every year. So that's awesome. And in a world where you've got all these comics with all these different superhero teams, you have people coming in and out, does it really mean much to be a member of the democratically elected X-Men? Krakoa, has made it kind of clear that the Quiet Council is running the show. Does being on the X-Men mean more than being on X-Force? Is this an indication that X-Men is going to be kind of a more PR type team, that these are the representatives of the mutants? Is this meant to be the number one, the flagship team? Is Jonathan Hickman going to move away from his one and done issues that he's been doing and move into more of a steady team, or are we going to get a new comic? The cynic in me believes that we're going to get an Uncanny X-Men comic, that we're going to get somehow out of all this. Which I know may be me being paranoid and crazy and too, glass half empty kind of person, but I just have to believe with everything we've seen that somehow, some way, we're going to get another X-Men book out of this whole mess. It just seems like, how could they not, right? At any rate, it is happening. You, the fan, will get to, at least this time, you don't have to pay, DC or the WWF a 900 number call in order to do this. I'm sure that there's somebody at Marvel when this idea came up, like, could we charge for people to vote? I mean, there must be a way that we could actually make money off of this. It's like, I know we can't make money off a 900 call, but we can do variant covers with all the different candidates. So we'll get our money one way or another. Again, I'm joking around. I'm being very cynical about the whole thing, but it's a novel idea, I guess, sort of. And they're trying new things, so you can't knock that too much. The idea, I don't know. Somebody's brainchild was like, because these comics get thought up, 6 months in advance from when they get printed. So you have to imagine that sometime around, October or September, that the X office was on one of their Zoom calls, all talking about, they're like, this is how we'll wrap up Ten of Swords. And they're all slapping each other on the back like, yeah, that'll be great, man. People are going to love that. Subvert those expectations. It'll be awesome. And somebody in that office is like, hey, you know what? It'd be really cool. We should do an election, because people cannot get enough of this election thing. I mean, I turn on the news and it's just the election. I turn on Twitter or Facebook and all they're doing is talking about the election. We need to get an election in our comic. And I kind of can imagine somebody rolled that idea out, and like the other people on the Zoom call are like, genius. This is the greatest idea I've ever heard in my life. That's it. I'm having some wine and some weed. I'm done for the day. At any rate, so this is what we're getting. Election X-Men, you get to help decide. We'll find out who those members are And I'll take Marvel's Q. We'll do videos on each one of them, separate videos. I will not do this. But yes, that's what we'll do. I will not do that. Anyway, what do you think? You loving this idea? You hating the idea? Let me know in the comments below. Something new, something different. Hellfire Gala, you excited? Let me know what you think. Go ahead and reach out, like and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. If you want to connect with me on social media or email, there's all those links in the description. You can check it out. Most importantly, though, thanks for listening. And thanks for voting. You vote. Vote matters. Vote like your X-Men life depends on it.